my grandparents, they had several $1 million, and they had the mentality of, like what Rhonda said, of I can't spend this money. So they're afraid. My grandma's afraid to go and travel or do anything or share with her kids, because she's like, well, what if I outlive my money? I can tell, right? Because that's the mentality that she was, raised with. So yeah, anyway.
Rightfully so. That's a problem, right? Because there's two schools of thought that happen when you hit retirement, what you're supposed to do in retirement, right? The one school is you move into conservative funds, but they don't pay much. Right. And so you're supposed to, it used to be the old rule was the 4% rule, right? Yep. That whatever you have, if you have $1 million, you live on 4% a year, which is only $40,000 a year before taxes, right? Which basically means you're in poverty as a millionaire. You're a broke millionaire. Yes. Congratulations. You just stayed above poverty level. Barely,
you
maybe.
Worked your whole life for it, right? Like
I know.
Chris, you forgot though, you can add in that awesome Social Security. I mean, that awesome Social Security gives you a huge bump, so, I mean, let's
Gen Xers,
let's be
totally
completely frank here. That is a massive amount of money. And so, and it obviously is going to be there for you and I, so we can count on that.
Oh, absolutely. The government will take care of us because they always have our best interest at heart, right? Yep. I'm sure the government's going to start knocking on our door just for saying that now. It's like, I do. No, you don't. Like you, and that's a problem. And really the government's not to blame because, they are. They set it up, right? It was supposed to be a temporary program, but now it's become something that people need to bank on. Yeah. And this is also why financial advising has been the same old crap that you've heard, right? This is why employers and the government both encourage you to put money in 401ks, which are, in my opinion, that is a Ponzi scheme. You're putting money into these plans, hoping that someday you'll have something, and they're really not any more advantageous than saving on your own, doing something different. Just trying to get that golden handcuffs, that little contribution from your employer, which by the way only adds maybe 2% return compounded over time. So think of that. Like people think I'm getting 100% return on my money because they match 100%. Yeah, they do. But that's not 100% return on your money. Otherwise, you'd be richer than Buffett in 20 years, right? That's not going to happen. It's only adding a 2% total return. And the longer you save in those things, getting a match, the worse the return becomes because that compound interest, you only just double your money when you get a 100% match. You don't double every year. You double in the end, right? And that's why their compound interest is only like 2%. The other issue I see too is that, we talk about that 4% rule, right? Well, that's already too aggressive. The Wall Street Journal just recently did an article saying 4% is too high. Yeah. It's too much. You should only be pulling out maybe 3% now. And we were talking about that 15, 20 years ago as a financial advisor. Even we were questioning it and we were banking on the 4%, right? But 3%, that now changes your $1 million, meaning you can only get paid $30,000 a year. Now contrast that with what I call anti-financial advising, right? Which is screw the financial advisors, screw all that other stuff, right? I don't know if I can say the word screw on here or crap. I've already said it 10 times. You can edit it out if you need to.
I may or may not have said worse. I can't confirm or deny.
Yeah.
Well, we can listen to past episodes and confirm and deny. But that's the thing. Like all the financial advisors are trying to tell us to do the same old thing. And again, you live on 3%. Even if you're lucky enough to save $2 million, now you're living on $60,000 a year before you pay taxes. Versus, I just talked to a lady today. She's a dentist, and her financial advisor's mad at her because for the last 6 months, she's been deploying her money into real estate, whether it's syndications or funds, into turnkeys. She's been doing all kinds of stuff, right? And the financial advisor's getting ticked. But here's the thing: she's got $3 million. Now, if she would have followed his advice, okay, maybe $90,000 a year. Her cash flow goal is $120,000 a year. So she'd have to save another $1 million, and she's already in her 60s, right? She'd have to save another $1 million to finally, for him to say, okay, you're good, but you got taxes and you got health insurance costs. Maybe you need $150,000. Save another $1 million. Why the heck not? Just go for $5 million.
Easy. It's easy. Just work another 5-10 years, save another $1 million. You're good to go.
Oh, and by the way, if the market happens to tank in the meantime, sorry,
another 10 years, tack on another
10 years. You'll be 80 years old, even though you're one of the richest people, the top percentage, and still you're trying to struggle to get to your retirement goal, right? Versus like when I tell people like, look, you can get investments that are paying 10, 12% a year pretty easily, right? Again, nothing's guaranteed, but neither is a stock market. 10 or 12%. And if that's cash flowing investments, right? So just like when I've bought properties for you guys, through you guys, I like to find those properties that are paying at least, 11, 12%. So let's say I get 12%, that's 1% a month. That $1 million that I deployed into your properties should pay me about about $10,000 a month, right? That's way different than $30,000 a year. $10,000 a month or $30,000 a year, which that's $120,000 versus $30,000.
Plus,
and look, and they're real assets. They're not a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Plus, they're real assets that continue to go up in value while they pay you, that someone else is paying off for you, and that is very tax advantaged.
Exactly.
And, Chris, I think we glazed over something. I think that most people really don't know because they haven't looked it up. We hear about the quote rich all the time.
Yeah.
But if you're 50, 60, whatever years old, and you've got $1 million net worth, you are in the top 5% of all human beings in the United States.
That's right.
Top 5%. Most people don't realize that, right? But if you have 2.4 million, top 2%, right? And then top 1% is only 10.5 million.
Yeah.
So if you've done well with your retirement savings, and you've been a business owner, you've been a professional, and you have between 2 and 10 million, you are literally the people that the politicians are talking about all the time. Yep. In spite of the fact that you don't feel wealthy, you're it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all you people trying to retire, and you've been told your whole life, get to $1 million, get to $1 million, get to $1 million, and you do pretty well, you get to 2. You are officially the rich people that everyone is talking about, and is angry about. You're them.
Yeah. You're the 47%. No,
yeah, baby.
It blows my mind because I remember that when you told me that a couple years ago, Ron, you were like, welcome, Heather, welcome. And I was like, wait, what? Me?
Yes, you.
I didn't picture that it would look like this, right? Which is, I think, eye-opening when you consider most of the clients I work with, they're kind of in that same, I think almost all of them would be.
Yep.